you some more details about Apigee. Uh, um, Basically, in the field of predictive analysis, this is where um, the thing started. But how it works, how the nodes work, is basically how we are managing our app and how we are managing our app, right. So when we talk about, let's say, uh, uh, why do you choose a APIG or a API gateway, or basically just the endpoints? That is where the communication will happen, right? Right. So that's the primary source of decision making, that what and why we will choose, right? Now, whenever we choose something like an APIG that enables your build will be there. You can manage your APIs, you can secure them, you can have some firewall rules on that, right? And the environment can be any. It can be on premise, it can be cloud, it can be hybrid, right? Now, the thing called optimization. Now, what is optimal? Now, that's where the decision will be made, that how I'm going to save the cost, how I'm going to make the environment secure, and how uh, I'm going to still be optimized if there are any scares. For example, there's governance. For example, there's testing. And obviously, the flexibility has to be there, because what happens is when we are moving legacy applications, we want to allow bring your own code and bring your own databases, right? Now, uh, your REST or your APIs, your own premise, that flexibility has to be there with your APIG, and that is that. That's why I'm talking about it. So that is that. Now, when we talk about its competitors, mainly what happens is we talk about price and costs, obviously, but it's also about its flexibility to get integrated with external systems, right? So that is where this decision can change. That is what can influence our decisions, right? Do you have any questions before Nancy fixes up her screen sharing?
Just one point. Am I audible, Rahul?
Yeah, Harendra, you are audible.
Okay. Yeah, because that reminds me basically one of the projects that I was part of. So, first of all, basically the need for API or Apigee or any such product which allows us to manage the calls to APIs.
Hmm.
So, the point is basically it's not that without APG or any such software we cannot make things work. We can, but what is the need? I think that would really be helpful if we uh, spend a little bit time on establishing the need for this and what are the drivers because of which such products actually came into being. So just one point I would like to mention.
All right.
The prop,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
one
So
problem
so
that we
what
were
happens?
facing, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
if you can just state basically the problem statement that was there. One problem that we are facing is basically one of my client was basically they were enterprise data providers, right? So they were
Mhm.
providing the data to the entire
Mhm.
organization. So they were definitely pulling data from n different sources, and then after
Mhm.
that they are doing a lot of massaging of the data and make forming the data in the form which is required by the different end users. And they had many users of the data within the organization, different departments. Now, the point is that basically they had exposed their data through APIs, but they did not have any way to control the calls to those APIs. How many calls? What used to happen sometimes, a lot of people used to bombard the system with lots of requests for the data just to get the latest data. And obviously, slowly, data refreshing and data updates, incremental data updates, all that were some
Mhm.
challenge.
Okay. Diksha, can you please share your screen and show me the PPT? Actually, it's not loading on my
That's okay,
screen.
Nancy. That's
Yes, 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 I'm sharing. Okay. Yes.
Limit.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Somebody is saying.
Is my screen visible?
Another point, Rahul, I wanted to mention that if
Yes.
we can, spend some time in talking about
I
the
got it.
primary drivers for such applications, that would be helpful in understanding it in entirety.
Can you present
Yeah,
it?
I can do that. Okay, Nancy Diksha, we can see Diksha's screen, but yeah, I can answer. I can take Harendra's question. So what happened is basically, if you see 80% of the web traffic is API, right? Now, when we are moving from legacy to cloud or cloud to hybrid or multiple clouds, what we want to do, we want to capture. Now, upstream can be anything. It can be data. It can be data messaging. It can be streaming. For example, Netflix, right? It can be streaming as well, or it can be data. Just I'm processing a PDF and then I'm moving it away. So, how to make it easier to build APIs? Building your APIs is still easy. How do you secure every call? And then your question, I have millions of API. How do I prevent my calls? So that's where optimization comes in. Now I want to have options whether I want to have pay as you go or as a subscription based model. Many products, be it API, be it API G, uh, they give you multiple options. Now you have to take care of range where your traffic would be. Data messaging is secondary. That pricing is secondary. Now how to optimize it? How do you want to use it? You want to have multiple products integrated. You want to have flexibility. So you have homegrown APIs, you got REST APIs, and then you have people who bring their own APIs, right? I build an app. I have its API. For example, Jenkins, right? They have their own API source. If I want to play with Jenkins,
Mhm.
or if I want to play with something which is an upstream processing and then some downstream API here and API there, both we got a link to from that's right. So how do you
I'm not
optimize this use
sure
case?
whether it's just with
So
me. I think your voice is
yeah, we got a
breaking. I'm not sure whether it's just for me or others are facing.
link. Okay, if you can hear me good, they give me a thumbs up if you can hear me good now.
Yeah, now
So
it is better.
okay, so playing around with endpoints. Now endpoints can be multiple. It can be
Mhm.
service-based endpoints. It can be data-based endpoints. It can be endpoints just of an app, right? So where should you choose? So that is your decision. So that's where your decision will change of an API gateway product. Now, when we went to a project like MBA, we made, let's say, a couple of months groundwork only on to tell them why we are going to choose a certain product, right? But let's say if you're working on something which already has a tool, which is that's why I'm a fan of service mesh, right? All your gateways will go if you're only playing with ingress and egress. All your products will go. But if you want to have flexibility, if you want to manage third-party API, if you want to optimize for high scaling, right? Or even if you are running some tests
Mhm.
locally, that is where your decision will change. So that is what influences the decision, right? Now, what happened in MBA was we wanted to save costs. We knew that the request will be in millions. We knew API endpoint would be multiple, right? So we already So we already knew the use case. So if you know the landscape, the decision making becomes easy. But if you don't know the landscape, then
Right.
you have to probably ask everything that what is the number of requests, what is it doing, whether it is bringing data, whether it is
Mhm.
bringing some information which I can process and then go give to a downstream, right? So that is what changes the decision. I hope I could answer your question,
Go ahead.
Harindra.
No. I think that's very nicely explained. Thanks a lot for giving that context. Thank you.
All right, Harendra. Amazing question, by the way. Go ahead,
Can
Diksha.
you
Over to you,
start?
Diksha. Yeah,
Okay, my screen is visible, I hope.
yeah. We can see your screen. Go ahead.
Okay, let's start these sessions. Sorry, guys, for the background noise. Can you all please hold for a minute? Can you all? Yes. So let's start. So firstly, knowledge etiquettes. So first is punctuality. Join the session 5 minutes prior to the session, the start time, and we start on time and conclude on time. Feedback, make sure to submit a constructive feedback for all the sessions as it is very helpful for the presenter. Silent mode. So keep your mobile and devices on silent mode and feel free to move out of session in case you need to attend on urgent call, and avoid disturbance, avoid unwanted chit chat during the session. So let's move towards the agenda. So firstly, we will see what is an API gateway. After that, what is APG, what are the features of APG and basic terminology that we use in APG, and use the UI, how we can use and what it performs, what are the features that it provides us, and finally we will move towards a demo. So firstly, what is an API gateway? So in simple words, we can say an API gateway is a software layer that sits between client apps and backend services, and it acts as a mediator. It accepts all the requests from client apps, and accepts all the requests from client apps, and it forward to the appropriate backend services for processing. So the API gateway also handles security, load balancing, and caching of requests. API gateways are commonly used in microservices architecture, where many small services need to be integrated to provide a larger application. And the API gateway provides a unified user interface for these services, which makes us easier to for client application to consume them. So API gateways can also provide many additional functionality, I can say, such as rate limiting, request validation, response transformation, and access management, and many more that we will further see. And this can help improve the performance, scalability, and security of the overall system. So this is a quick introduction about an API gateway. Let's move towards what is APG. So APG is an API gateway management framework. This is owned by Google that helps in designing, securing, deploying, and scaling APIs. So it provides a suite of tools for managing the entire API lifecycle from design to deployment. So APG can be used by developers, IT teams, and business stakeholders. They use it for creating and managing APIs that expose data and functionality to internal and external consumers. So with APG, organizations can create APIs, and they expose those APIs to backend services and data and make them available to external developers and partners. So APG provides a range of features that we will see in next slide. So let's move towards the next slide, the features of APG. So some features, some of the key features of APG include like API design, API security, API lifecycle management, analytics, developer portal, and integration. So API design. So what we can do is APG provides a user-friendly interface. I will show you in demo how it looks like, and by using which we can design APIs using Open API specification. So what is it? This is the API definition, I can say, Swagger or Open API specification, and by using which we can create and deploy APIs. API security. So next feature is API security. So APG offers a variety of security features such as Auth2, JWT validation, API key management, and rate limiting that help organizations to protect their APIs. Like if we want our API to protect from unauthorized access, then we can use API key. And if we want to limit the rate of request to an API, then we can apply the policy and we can do that. So the third feature is API lifecycle management. So APG provides tools for managing the entire API lifecycle from design to retirement, including documentation. We can maintain its versioning, and we can also do test. So the whole API lifecycle management can be done by using APG. Next feature is analytics. APG offers comprehensive analytics that provide insights to API usage, performance, and developer engagement, which help organizations make informed decisions about their APIs. Next is developer portal. It is a feature of Apigee developer portal, which provides a customizable developer portal. This Yes.
Sorry, just one
uh,
question. This slide is actually not, I don't know whether it's just for me or everybody is facing the same issue, but I'm still seeing our agenda slide.
is
No,
it
we
for
are able
this?
to see. We are able to see features of
Oh,
API.
okay, fine. Please, please,
Okay.
please go ahead. Now it is
Okay.
fine for
So
me as well.
okay, developer portal. So Apg provides a customizable developer portal that enables organization to easily onboard, educate, and engage developers using their APIs. I will show you how we can create a developer portal and how it's look like. And integration, Apg supports a wide range of integration options, like including REST, SOAP, and XML to enable organization to connect the APIs with backend services. So these are some basic key features that the Apg includes. Let's move to the next slide. Basic terminology of Apg. So here are some definitions like API proxy, environment, organization, policy, division, API product, and developer portal. So what is an API proxy? It consists of a set of policies, and it defines how the API proxies should handle API requests and responses, and inside which we can specify the target backend services and all the security settings and each and everything related to a proxy. So we can create and deploy API proxy, and we can start using them. Environment. So environment, it's a logical space in which an API proxy is deployed and executed. So it's the same like we have environment dev, prod, perf, or test. So it's the same. So if we deploy API proxy in an environment, and we can access that. And organization. So all the objects contained in an Apg account, including API proxy and each and everything like API packages, API products, developers, and apps. These all comes inside organization. So first an organization come inside this, we create environment, and inside environment we deploy the API proxy. So this is the hierarchy. And policy. So a policy is a piece of configuration that we attach to API proxy. So this depends on us that what we want. Like if we want to attach the security, then we have to attach the security policy to the API proxy. If we want to manage a traffic management, then the policy is also available for that. And we attach policy to the pre-flow and post-flow of request and response. And next is revision. So in Apg, revision is a version control concept. So which is used to manage the changes made to an API proxy configuration. So each and every time we make a change to an API proxy, Apg creates a new revision of the API proxy. That is simply a snapshot of the state of proxy at a particular time. So next is API product. So in Apg, an API product is a container. It's simply a container for defining access to one or more APIs. We can define who can access API, and we can attach the access policies and distribute them to the developers who want to consume those APIs. So next is our developer portal. So this is simply for onboarding the developers, and that can access the API, and it contains the API documentation and obtain API keys for accessing APIs. So I will show you. Let's move towards the use the UI. So what the Apg UI provides. So Apg provides a user interface. It is a web-based graphical user interface that provides a range of tools and features for managing and monitoring APIs. So the UI can be based through a web browser and provides a user-friendly way to configure and manage API proxy, API products, developers, and many other aspects of Apg platform. So here are some common tasks that you can perform using Apigee UI. So some basic tasks are like create and manage a API proxy. So the Apigee UI provides a visual editor for creating and configuring API proxy, and you can define API endpoints and policies and manage the flow of API request and response. Next is create and manage API products. So the Apigee UI allows you to create and manage API products, which are simply a container for defining access, like to whom you want to give your APIs to use. You can specify access rules, rate limits, and other policies for each API product also. Next is manage developers. So the Apigee UI allows you to manage developers and developer accounts. You can create new developer accounts, approve a developer request for API access, and manage API keys and other credentials also. You can add easily developers to Apigee UI. Next is monitor API traffic. So Apigee UI provides a real-time monitoring of API traffic. It provides some dashboards, inbuilt dashboards where you can monitor your API traffic and all the related metrics. You can view traffic of API proxy, API product, developer, or the other criteria. I will show you what it gives. And next is configure analytics. So the Apigee UI allows you to configure analytics settings for your APIs, including data collections, reporting, and dashboards. So let's quickly move towards the demo. So this is what the Apigee UI looks like. You only have to open the Google Cloud Console and you will search for Apigee and it will look like this. So here you can see this is the free environment that it created for me, eval, and it will expire. It gives for the like 60 days of free trial, and we can create also environment. You can see the dev and eval two environments are here, and these are the proxy that I have deployed inside eval environment. So inside develop tab, you can see API proxies, shared flows, integration, and offline debug. So these are some proxies, and if you want, then click on create new. So here it gives an option of reverse proxy, which is most common. This is this route inbound traffic to a backend service, and you can simply upload open API spec file from your local and simply create the reverse proxy from here. Or if you want it to create it, or you can provide here the details like let's create test proxy. So this is the base path that it has given to me. It is same as the name of the API proxy and the target, like to which backend service it will hit. Let's say this. I will click on next. Then the common policies that you can apply it from here, and to which environment you want to deploy. Like if I check here eval, it will create and deploy this proxy to the eval environment. Yes, it's deployed. Status you can see currently deploying, and you can simply undeploy also. So when you will come inside the develop tab, you can see the proxy configuration. The base path is test proxy. And if I would change anything here, then it will create a new environment, new division. And the division you can see it from here. So let's test this, what the response is coming. I will copy the base path from here, or you can see also. inside overview. This is the base path, and I will test this. I will give here the base path of my proxy, which is test proxy, and I will send the request. And yes, you can see here the response 200. Okay, so my simple test proxy has been deployed. So if you want to attach any policy to this proxy, then what you can do is you can simply click on here. You can attach the policy to the pre-flow, post-flow request, or the response pre-flow and post-flow. Click on here and select the existing policy that you have. If you don't have, then click on create new policy. Select the policy type. These are the policy type that it have, and you can select like anything like a quota, create and add, created. So save, click on save. Then you can see here save as new revision. So if I change anything in the proxy, then it will save as a new revision. So this is how it maintains its version. Now it saves. What I need is I will deploy this revision. So deploy, confirm. So it will deploy this proxy. Revision 2 will get deployed, and we can start using this. So this is as much simple as you can see. So this is the API proxy that we can create. Also, you can see here the options, like if you want to create a proxy that have no target, then you can click on here and you can provide the name, and it will simply create the proxy for you. And upload proxy bundle. So this is the zip archive that you can upload API proxy bundle from here, and you can create also the proxy. And it also provides one more option, integration target. So this is how we can create API proxy and can start using them. So let's see next, that is shared flows. So what is shared flows? So shared flows, it's a reusable component. I can say in simple words, I would say it's a policy. It's like a simple policy that would get attached to the whole proxy in an environment. So if I want that all the proxy in dev environment should contain the same policy. So what I will do is I will create shared flows here. I will create the policy here, and I will enable the flow hooks for that. So when I will enable the flow hooks, like click on here and select the shared flows, and it will attach that policy to the whole proxy in a particular environment. So this is how the shared flows work. And integration. So now this is for basically application integration that we can use if we need. And offline debug. So offline debug, it is similar to a debug session. You can analyze previously downloaded debug sessions here. Open debug session. You can upload here the previously downloaded debug session and analyze it again. So if I show you the debug session, I will choose a eval environment, and let's say proxy test. You can see here the option of debug, right? So if I start debug session, select the environment, eval1, and start. So Yes. So when you will send a request, you can start visualizing the whole flow here. I can show you if you will hit this proxy, let's say. I'm sending the request to the proxy test. Now you can see here the transactions. Let me refresh this and it will show you the flow. It's loading the transactions. Yes, you can see here the response status method. I'm giving here the request and you can visualize it from here. When you will click here, you can see each flow and the request received from client, the proxy request, the target flow started, the response, the target response, the proxy response flow started. Each and every details you can visualize it from here. So this is what the debug session is. So this was all about develop, and let's move towards the publish. API products. So what is API product? So it is a container for defining access to one or more APIs. We can create here the API product. I have created, you can see here, API product and environment. We can create API product inside any environment. We can um, uh, we can give here the proxy list to which we want access. So API product, we can create it from here, and apps. So by creating an app and adding API product inside app, we can control who can access your APIs. We can register apps and manage API keys. Like if I show you the app one, then you can see here the API product is attached to this app, this API product. And here you can see the key and secret it gives. So this is how we can control access to our APIs. So without these key and secret, we cannot access the APIs that come inside this product. So this is how API product and apps work. And portals. This is the developer portal that we create, and we can easily create and onboard the developers from here. And for adding the developers, we can use this developer section. Click on developer and provide here the first name, last name, username and email, and kindly we can, this is how we can add the developers. So this was all about the publish, and let's move towards the analyze. So Apigee UI provides us the various API metrics, monitoring and dashboard for visualizing the APIs. So inside timeline, you should see the dashboards like proxy total traffic, proxy error rate, proxy latencies, percentile. So reason you can select it from here, ACI East one, and you should select the proxy name for which you want to see whole metrics like hello world and the open API test. Then you should see the proxy total traffic, proxy error rate, latency per percentile, target latency percentile. So these are some inbuilt dashboard that it provides. And also select, we can also select the environment. Here you can see the incidence by proxy, proxy error rate, and maximum proxy latency. Inside this, we can select the environment, region, and proxy name, and it will show you the 200 status code details. The anomaly events. So it refers to the unusual or unexpected behavior in API traffic that may indicate a security threat, performance issues, or other problems. So right now it don't have, so it's not showing it here. Let's move towards the API metrics. So here we can see the API proxy performance. Simply select it, the environment from here and proxy name like this, and you can see here the traffic, total traffic, success, traffic error, and average response time, and this. So these are some dashboards that it provides, and cache performance, we can visualize it from here. So right now it has no data to show. And error code analysis, selected here the environment. You can also select here the timeline and apply it from here. So it will show you the total errors, proxy errors, 400 response, 500 response, something like this. You can also change here the proxy name. So for latency analysis, you can use these dashboards. Yes, select here the proxy name and the reason, and you should see here the response time, target response time, request processing latency, response processing latency. For target performance, these are the metrics that it gives, like traffic by target. These are the targets. So this target got 17 traffic, this target got 11 traffic. So these are the details. Traffic composition. So success rate is 57. So average time. So errors, target error composition, request payload size. So these are the total payload size and request payload size and response payload size. So these are the API metrics that you can easily visualize for environment and proxy. So for developer engagement, you can see here the total developers. Like I have added only one developer. From here I have shown you this. So it's showing the same metrics. The total developers.
Nancy,
Yes.
Nancy, I'm really sorry to interrupt in between, but we just have 1 minute left for the session timing to
Okay,
get
okay. I'm
over.
just concluding. Concluding. Okay, so these are the developer engagement the metrics that you can see here. The total developers, developer with apps, active developers, and these are the app names, proxy names, and product name, traffic, errors, error rate. And traffic composition, you can see here the top 10 proxies traffic. You can visualize it from here. Top 10 developers traffic, top 10 products traffic, and top 10 apps traffic. So end users, like who are accessing those proxy. So you can see here the details. Select here the proxy. So these are the details. So these are the metrics that you can choose it. Sum of traffic, sum of error count, average of total response time, average of target response time. Select here the proxy and the request. You can see it. The traffic over proxy all in India. So we can also create the custom reports. If we want, then we can create the custom reports from here. So it enables us to get specific API metrics and view the exact data that you want to see. Uh, So instances, if you want to see, then you can view it from here. Like in this environment is deployed to this instance. So this is the whole. I've given you the overview, a quick overview of the APG UI, how it works and how it looks like. So any questions from here?
What is reverse proxy? Reverse proxy.
Sorry, you are not clear.
And then what is reverse proxy?
Can anyone else repeat?
He is asking what is reverse proxy.
Okay, so for if we if we create the reverse proxy, so it inbound traffic to a backend service. That if we want a backend service to respond to this proxy, then we will create a reverse proxy. So if we don't want, then we should go with no target. So for reverse proxy, we have to provide here one target. So it's like the backend service that the proxy will hit to, and will give you the response from here. Is it clear?
Yes, cool.
Okay.
See, actually, she was saying the in API it uses the front end and back end. Whenever the
Yes.
front end accesses, it uses the proxy address. But if backend want to access the data from the front end, it wants again needs a proxy access. So we create a reverse proxy server. The
Mhm.
use case of reverse proxy is there.
Yes, right. Okay. So if you have any questions, then you can reach out to me over my chat or email. Thank you guys for joining the session.
Thank you, Nancy.